Hello, welcome back. I am playing with the climbing Clematis. We're not gonna pretend that I did that properly. This is the August Build Your Garden, and as you can see, there is a few different ideas for cards. We're going to use that, but it also helps you with how to position and what are you going to use. So firstly, I'm going to stamp out my image. This does make it a whole heap easier. Off screen, I'm actually going to do two, but I'm saving you some time and some energy. Now, I don't have a sticky mat. This is a Fiskars silicone mat that I've had for years, and there's the sticky mats and that sort of stuff will do really well. This paper is pretty big. The paper would sit still, but I'm not too sure about the stencil because there's only a tiny bit of stencil material on either side, or top and bottom actually. It's not even on each side. And I'm using some Altenew blending brushes. My leaves are going to be the eucalyptus, and my flowers in the project, in the packaging, they do colours, but what they also do is they sort of have the images all grey and monochromatic, and then as you go through the stencil you can sort of see it briefly there. They colour them in, so I sort of went with the monochromatic flowers and the grey flowers and ran with it because I thought it was something a little bit different. Now, as I said, my green is eucalyptus, so to keep it that much more muted colour, I've actually used in different times and different layers either the green or morning frost, or sometimes I've actually went the evening grey, but I did a really light hand, just so you know. It was closer. It's all good. And this is going to help mute down my leaves. So some of the leaves are a little bit more grayer, some of them are just a bit more of the green, but I think it turned out really pretty. The greys, I don't think I told you morning frost that I was using. There is also evening grey and moon rock. Now I think there is one more darker colour, not lighter. I think the morning frost is the lightest. And then as you can see here, I'm using two different centers. I'm using the yellow, which is citrus burst, and for the very sort of center I'm using a bit of the caramel toffee, and they're actually both out of the same set. You can see here I'm just going over my leaves. So the guidelines, as I said, all the stencils are numbered. Did I say that? I don't know. But all the stencils are numbered, and there's even etched markings of other parts of the flower, so it's easier to line up. You can sort of just see it in the bottom of that stencil there. And this just makes it really easy. It's just no stress. I am trying to keep my darker edges, my green or grey, depending on what I'm using, towards sort of the areas where I'd have it. So we have the top of leaves, the base petals, this sort of thing. Now I have completely forgotten this leaf, so we're just going back in with him and adding a bit of fun and a bit of definition. So I have done two of these. Now I'm using some polychromo pencils. I'm using the cold grey, and these are, I didn't write it down, but the cold grey, oh there it is, 70%, 50% and 30%. Now the other image I'm going to show you side by side, but it's not going to be as easy to tell on the camera as it is in real life. These inks are much more a warmer ink, so they do lend themselves to the warm grey rather than the cold greys. But I just thought, let's just go with the flow and let's see what happens. And I enjoyed it. So I'm just deepening where something is sitting over the top of it, or where the leaf here is going to be, would have had a bend down because the stem goes downwards after that end of that leaf, and just basically deepening that colour. I do prefer the warm greys. Hopefully I'll leave a link down below to my blog, and hopefully over there you can see a little bit of difference. The warm greys is basically the flower that is, I'm going to say, towards the bottom. It is raised up. You'll see me raise it up. And I like it better. But, it doesn't matter because, it's a bit of fun. And I thought, let's see what happens. Let's see how they sit on each other and go with the flow. So I am just finishing up some of my deepening of, so these are the two. So we've got the warm grey and the cooler grey. So I like the warm grey on the right hand side there. I am going to position these just so I can get an idea of where I want. They are really big. Like, they'll be really, really pretty just by themselves with a stamped sentiment. In true me fashion, I am going to cut up some of my image because you can't see it. So I'm not going to waste all the prettiness and hide that. So we're going to layer these up a little bit, and I am also going to cut off the edges that flow over the edge of the card, and we're going to use that in other places as well. You've done all this work, you might as well use it. That's what I believe. And I think it helps to fill out the card a little bit more, so it's more like a bush of these flowers. We're not even going to go and pretend to say the names, let's be honest here. And it just makes it look a little bit more natural. So I've got glue on this, and as you can see, I trimmed it all off. Now, before the glue sets properly, I'm going to tuck these flowers in. So they already have a little bit of glue on the back side, but they're going to be held in place also by the glue that I'm tucking it in with, the piece that is on top, So all these pieces are laid flat. This particular one, I'm going to bend the leaves up a little bit. This is going to give it a little bit of dimension. I'm also going to put a foam dot, as you can see there, to support him a little bit more. And you can, when you look at the card, you can sort of see the little leaf on the right hand side that I've just added is raised up, but it doesn't need to be supported because it's behind a fair bit there. So this is getting towards my end. So I have raised up the bottom flower, and we're just filling in some gaps. Now, the sentiment that we're going to use today is Sending Hugs. It is out of the same pack, so it's really, really easy. As I said, we're using the Sending Hugs, which you haven't seen just yet, but they have Keep Shining, Love You, Hello, Thank You, With Love, Thinking of You, and then a couple of other ones that say, Your presence adds quiet beauty to the world, and sending peace and strength as you rise through this moment. So very inspirational, a little uplifting, with love, sending hugs, all that sort of thing. These sentiments are quite small, but you've got the flower that's really quite big, so you want that to be your focal point. So this is, I'm just making sure my sentiment is all straight here. Now, I haven't worked on doing voiceovers because my husband now pretty much works straight from home all day, every day. So we're going to see what happens, but for the time being, you're going to be with a voiceover from me. I just got a little bit of glue out of the edge. I have added a little bit of stickles just dotted through the centers of my flowers, and I had to wait until it was dry. So I don't do that. This is me. This is what I do all the time. My Copic colouring, I do the darker colours and I forget that I'm really supposed to do the lighter colours, and then I panic that I'm going to pull some of the darker colour in. But anyway, that's my card for today. I hope you're well. Take care and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.